Let me know if you can hear me and let me know if you can see me in the chat box. We still have a minute before we start, so just let me know, and then we'll just wait until some more people trickle in. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Sherry. Awesome. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. Perfect. That's good. So, how's everybody enjoying the summer? I found that this year summer went by a little too fast. I've been too busy with trade shows that I haven't been able to fully enjoy summer, but I'm glad that we had nice weather. From sunny Edmonton. Nice. Today is a little bit gloomy for us. Rain, but I kind of need the rain for our garden. It was pretty hot, pretty dry, and my flowers are all like shriveled up. So I need some rain. Hi, Susan. I'm going to mention some information about. Good morning, Sabita. Good morning from Washington, Amberley. If you're looking for a distributor, I will mention after what you would have to do. Okay. So just wait until we get more people to trickle in. We do have a good one today, too. I guess like August is more of a relaxing season. So a lot of people are registering for the webinar. So it's nice that we're having a good attendance. Noika, can't hear. Good morning from Alberta, Melissa. Let me answer. Give me 1 second. Let's reply. Check your volume setting. Okay. Hi, Terry. Thank you for helping, being on today. Thank you. From South Africa. Hey, hi, Janine. I think you've sat before, I believe, right? From South Africa. I think I remember that name. So welcome all the way from South Africa. And welcome. What else do we have? Welcome, welcome. All the chats are going too fast for me. Give me 1 second. So we have, oh no, I don't know what's happening. My computer is freezing up. That's not a good sign. So we have from LA, we have from South Africa. Hi, Tawny. Hi, Catherine from LA. We have Christiane. Hi, Christiane. Lisa, thank you. Hey, Lisa, thank you for coming on today. So I have a couple of my trainers on today, which is awesome. So we have Terry from Ontario, and then we have Lisa from Alberta. Hello, Christiane. So it's all over the place, which is awesome. Really awesome. So thank you. So I'll have a little support from our trainers on today, which is great. Okay, so it is 12:02, so we should begin our webinar. But okay, so I'll do some little explanation before we start. So if you have any issues during the webinar that you all of a sudden can't hear me or can't see me or it's frozen, anything like that, you can refresh your page or you can exit and come back in. You should be okay. So far, everybody can hear and see me, which is a good sign. Also, if you have any questions, I would suggest please hold them until after I'm done the presentation, the PowerPoint, and then we'll have a little Q&A period, and then we'll go into a video demonstration. Unfortunately, my model, which is my mom, who's going to be my model today, because I was going to show a little bit of bleaching, she's not feeling well. So I do not have a live model, so I'm sorry about that, but I have a great recording where I actually do show the bleaching, okay? So, and custom coloring. So stay through the full webinar to see that video as well. Okay. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Also, okay, so questions after the PowerPoint. We'll have a little grace period for the questions. Also, if you have questions on a distributor that you're looking for, I'm going to type into here for now the email that you can email me at. Okay. So any questions that you need to find a distributor local to you, please email me at education@cbongroup.com. Okay. Okay, so let's begin. So I'll do a quick little introduction. A lot of people on the webinars are great supporters, have been joining the webinar, so I remember certain names. But for you who are new, actually, I'm going to ask that question. Who is their first time doing this webinar with myself? Let me know in the chat if it's your first webinar. Okay, so my name is Chrissy, and I am welcome. Renee is our sales rep from in the US. Okay. So my name is Chrissy, and I'm the lead RefectoCil trainer for North America. So I do, as you can see, all these webinars, all the trainings, along with my trainers, and attending all the trade shows as best as I can to share my passion of RefectoCil to the rest of you professionals. So I do really enjoy RefectoCil, all the services, all the quality, and that's why I do these webinars to help you feel as enjoyable when using this brand and being able to give your customers the results that they're looking for. Okay, so it all works in unison. So that's myself. I do have an aesthetic background as well, but now I've been focusing heavily on lashes and brows. So that's my main expertise. Okay, so um, thank you, Samantha. Okay, that's great. And repping your amazing products. That is awesome. First, Dana, and okay, so it is your first time. Let's see. It says Dana and Heather from Kelowna, BC. Awesome. So a couple of new ones, but a lot of repetitive ones, which you know what? It's amazing for you guys supporting us during these webinars as well. We always try to keep it a little fresh with different services. Also, I do get a lot of feedback of, oh, Christy, can you please do this webinar again? So I do take that consideration. If you have a webinar that you wish needs to be shown, shoot an email and we'll try to accommodate that. Okay, so let's start with talking. Today's class is actually, or webinar is going to be on basic tinting, because there might be another question I want to ask is, who is new at completely using RefectoCil? So let me know that as well if it's your first time, because we're going, hi Masoda. So we're going back a little bit basic. So we're going to show you the basic brow tinting, but then we're also going to go a little bit into custom coloring, because we do have 8 colors and we want to teach you how to utilize them all and be able to accommodate a lot of clientele, especially when they come in with a fresh hair color. So this is also a great service that a hairstylist can be doing as well, because it's quick, it's easy, and you could be processing it while they're getting their hair processed, while they're sitting at the shampoo bowl. So this is not just an aesthetic service; it can also be a hairstylist service, a salon service as well, as opposed to a spa service. Okay, so let's just go quickly and do a little bit of introduction about brows, because we do know that brows are a big deal. We know that they frame our face. We know that when it matches the color of the hair color, it gives us that total picture, right? Our hair is nice and fresh, but if our brows were not updated with that freshness, they could look washed out. They could not be matching and make maybe that fresh hair color won't look as vibrant because the brows are not accommodating it. So brows do play an important role. We also see that a lot of professionals are just sticking to brows. Hi, Kat from Southern California. Still seeing some people trickle in, so come on in. We're seeing a lot of professionals that are just, they see the importance of brows and they're just focusing on brows. So you will see or hear of a lot of brow bars opening up, where they're just focusing on doing any service that's going to enhance or give the brows a fresh look, whether it's tinting, whether it's a hair removal, whether it's microblading. They'll just focus on the brows. Okay, Palm Desert. Oh, nice. Just like the word palm, because I love palm trees. Okay, so even though, and a little bit going a little bit back to the pandemic, you might have noticed this. I had a lot of professionals tell me that they've noticed that they had new clientele during the pandemic, or clients that were not getting any of these brow service, but now are seeking these brow services. Because when we wear the mask, and still, you know, I'm from Canada, and still there's people who wear the mask just to keep safety when they're out in public, you're covering a good portion of the face that shows expression as well. We know the eyes show expression, but the face, a smile goes a long way, right? So when they were wearing the brows, they saw that this area had to be emphasized a lot more, and maybe they were not giving that care or attention. So having a mask on, not giving care attention to the eyes and the brows, you almost could look tired, could look not well represented. So a lot of people were starting to start getting these services. So you might have saw in your business that your brow services and lash services start to pick up during the pandemic, when we were able to redo these services. Okay, let's look at the color range. Let's see how so you can see all our beautiful colors right there, 8 colors, including a bleaching paste. And A little tips that can help you how to choose that perfect color. First tip is the eyebrow color should reflect an aspect of the hair color. Now, this is not concrete rule, but when tinting started, it was that to start to match our brows to the hair so that it was accommodating, right? But we know that runway trends do play into our looks. Like if, say, for example, Kendall, she did her bleach brows. Well, that became popular, and a lot of people were coming to the salon getting their brows bleached. So obviously, runway trends or a celebrity trend is going to influence us as well, because she maybe even younger generation to get that look. So it's not concrete that the brow has to match the hair. But if you get your 30, 35 to plus clientele age, at that age, they're going to want that uniformed look. Okay. New to RefectoCil, oh my gosh, I hope I say your name right. Aracil. Um, Wellness and beauty, but my beauticians need refreshing. I also want to learn. Okay, from Ontario, Canada. Perfect. So you're on the right spot to go back to the. I said it right. Perfect. Didn't want to butcher your name. So you're at a right webinar because you're able now to just get a refresher on the tinting and know how to utilize all the colors, which is very important. Okay, matching the skin type is important as well because you need to be able to differentiate between cool and warm tones. So you need to be able, like if you have a customer that has a warm tone, how are you going to accommodate if they don't want warmth in their brows because their hair is cool tone? Then you're going to start utilizing a graphite. Or if somebody has a cool tone, but their hair is warm and they need their brows to be warm, well, you're going to accommodate it with some red. So it's really good to understand your matching the skin type, but also understanding a cool type and a warm type. If this is some suggestions too, if the hair color is very light, it is like even lighter than the hair, it is advisable to tint the brows 1 to 2 shades darker so that you're able to frame the face. Because when the hair is fresh and it might be a darker tone and the brows are not, that contrast can maybe not be as aesthetically pleasing and might make you look a little bit washed out as well. Then with black hair and sharp facial features, like I do have darker hair, sharp facial features, the eyebrows can be 1 shade lighter. So I tend to sometimes do a little bit of an ombre and choose like a lighter color so that that sharp contrast doesn't make me look harsh, right? And dominant looking, right? Because I do have very strong dark features. Okay, so those are little tips that you can understand, have in the back of your head. And when you're doing a consultation with your customer, you know which way you'll direct them. And education is key. I'm educating you guys, but you as professional are going to educate your customers too, because your customers will understand the service much more and what benefit it's doing to them, that they're going to appreciate that from you and obviously be returning to your chair. Okay. Let's look at the colors quickly. We got beautiful models aligned with the colors, a little bit too small to see their brow color, but we have our pure black. Our pure black is more of a matte black. So pure black gets used a lot for lash tinting, but I do tend to use it as well for brows, especially if I had a customer that I needed to cool down my browns, but they also had like our browns, our light brown and natural brown, they do have a warm undertone. So if the customer had a warm undertone, they tend to come out more almost like a chestnutty look, right? So if I wanted to give coolness and graphite wasn't enough depthness, I would use black. Because if they had darker features, I like darker brow hairs, I need to make it darker but cooler, I can mix it with black, with any other color like your browns. Okay. You can also use it on its own, but just make sure it's not too harsh. Make sure you know to what, if the customer has darker skin, darker hair, yes, you can use the black straight. Okay. Graphite, a lot of people or a lot of professionals, they buy it. It's cool. The name's cool. Okay. It's got this like graphite grayish kind of tone to it, but they just leave it in the drawer and don't really know how to utilize it until we say, if your customer's pulling out a lot of red, but their hair has that nice, clean blonde, like that white crisp look, or even if you have a silvery gray mature clientele, you're going to want to use graphite. Okay. So, and then you're going to also use a graphite to mix it and cool down the colors, but not in such a intense degree as a black. Welcome, Christia. Kishia. Welcome from San Francisco. I know from Chicago. I don't know where I got San Francisco. Welcome, welcome. Okay, then you have your blue black. So blue black, obviously, it's known for lashes, but I have used it actually on darker skinned clientele. And people freak out that it's going to be blue. It's not. It has the hue of a little bit of it of blue in there to give luster and shine when we do lashes, but the color looks just like black, and you can mix it with black as well. So that's how we utilize the blue black. Then you have your deep blue. So deep blue becomes your custom coloring mixing color. Like if you want to create the pinks, if you want to create the purples, you're going to be using the blue along with the red. If somebody has blonde brows and has blue hues in their hair and wish to have blue brows, you use it straight. It will turn their brows blue because they're blonde, the hairs. Natural brown, light brown, those are your popular colors. Those are the ones that you're going to be utilizing a lot and having to replenish a lot more. Trade shows, people buy like a whole box of them because it's what you're going to run out more. So you can also mix. You have your light brown and you have your natural brown. So your natural brown is pretty dark. So just be mindful of that. Even the light brown, if you have a customer that's very, very, very fair and their brows are blonde to almost non-existent, like because they're so light, the light brown does tend to go dark. So what I always suggest, if this is your first time customer, you've done a consultation, you know what look they want, and they told you, please don't make my brows too harsh. The best thing to do is when you're putting it on the brows, halfway through the timing, remove one of the brows and check to see the degree of how it's taking. Halfway through the timing. Don't be like, okay, I'm gonna leave the tint on for 5 minutes for this customer. And if you don't check at 2.5 minutes, potentially at 5 minutes, that brow is gonna be so dark that your customer is going to be upset. And once your cuticles are open and the hair is deposited in there and create that darkness, it's really hard to soften it and get rid of it, right? So make sure you don't make that mistake. Trisha, so you will get in your thank you email color cards, brochures. You will get information, and even to help custom mix, you will get that afterwards. Okay, so those are your browns, and you can mix both natural and light brown to create a medium. As a side tip, browns are amazing for your male clientele too. If they had really faded out brows, you can, good Trisha, yeah, you can put it on and leave it for just a couple of minutes, like very little. Don't want to make it too dark. They don't need that emphasis. They just need to not have washed out brows. Also, beard tinting, awesome. I tend to mix natural brown, light brown, a little bit of graphite, very hinge of black, and I love beard tinting. So the colors are also great for male clientele. Then we go into your chestnut. The chestnut on its own is such a rich and beautiful color. Like it's like a auburn, gorgeous. As you can see, the model's hair, it's got that auburn to it, and the brows. Like I did a webinar last month, and I used the chestnut, and it's just a rich, beautiful color. Then you have your red. Once again, your red can be used on its own on light light brows, and it will look a red. But you can also use it with your blues to mix it and create your purples, your pinks, as I said, at different ratios. You can create those, and we'll see it after. But you're also going to get that file emailed to you after the webinar, how to create those cool. I've done the purple and I've done the pink, and they're actually fun and they're very mild. They're not like wild out of the look. They're very mild looking and soft to accommodate the hair color if it was purplish or pink. Okay, but a lot of these colors, like your reds, your blues, your pinks, your purples, if you wanted them to showcase, obviously if the brows are dark, darker brown, darker black, you can't really lift black, the bleaching comes into play. That is why I wanted to do this webinar, because a lot of professionals still are hesitant to use the bleaching paste. Hairstylists, it's easy for them, right? They know how to bleach, but estheticians, it's not in their expertise. The great thing, RefectoCil has created a good product that can be used on the face and on the hairs on the brows, just for brows, to be able to bleach and soften. And we'll see another way you can use the bleaching paste that will be actually really important for certain clientele you have. Okay, so that's the last one, blonde brow. It's called blonde brow. Don't be confused when you go to the name is a little bit can be a little confusing. You might think it's like a goldeny color. Just don't be mistaken. It is not a color. It is a bleaching paste. Okay. So let's look at some befores and afters. Befores and afters are always nice to see, and to see the mixtures of colors that you can use. Like we said, this is a basic, but also a custom coloring class. We want to be able to utilize and mix colors. So it might be a little bit hard to see on your screen. I don't know if you're able to zoom in the PowerPoint, but the first model, her hair is chestnut. Okay, so what they did, instead of just using straight the red and making it too vibrant red, they sorry, not the red, the chestnut, instead of just using the chestnut straight because her brows are a little bit lighter than her hair color and not making it too on the red side, they mixed a little bit of the light brown. So they took the light brown and they took just a pin size of the chestnut, mixed it, and look how beautiful her brows match her hair. Lori, after this, like when you see the protocols and the steps and when you see the video demonstration I'm going to show, um, yes, the first time you do it, you might be a little bit, oh, like holding your breath. But once you learn how to use the blonde brow, you're going to be able to reach to a lot more clientele. Okay. So I know it'll be hesitant at first, but have a little bit of an open mind to at least help you go the next step and just at least try it. Have some girls over or something. You're not going to try it right away on a customer until you get comfortable with it. So maybe have people you know that can come over and do a little test. Or you can go grab hair at the salon that's been cut and stick it on a piece of paper and practice with the hairs, different type of color of hairs, and bleach it and see how it changes and so forth. That's another way you can practice. Okay. The other model here, she does have darker hair, but right here, I don't know if you can see the little line right here, but she has lighter red highlights in her hair. So here they actually took red because chestnut will not show too much on darker hair. So they need to take a more richer red. So they took the red and they mixed it with natural brown to create that brow matching type. Okay, with a little bit with the warmth. Thanks. I will have some friends who are okay. There you go. See, it's always best to practice with friends and get a free service, but also if you have a little oops moment, you won't be yelled at by your customer. So, but practice. That's the only way you can practice and get comfortable with it. Okay. But if you feel like you want to do the hair option, grab some hair that's been cut at a salon, ask a hairstylist, and practice on a piece of paper. Okay. Contrast brow. This was a runway trend a couple of years ago, like 2018, 2019, it ran through. Like it was on the runway, the models were having the dark brows with the blonde hair. So in order to achieve that, you will be bleaching first so you can lighten as best as you can, like the hair, so that when you do use the black along with the natural brown, because if you go straight black, that would be a little too harsh. When you mix a natural brown with the black, you can create that contrast brow as we can see in the model. So it is a look that people like. So if it's something you offer, once again, you're enhancing your clientele. The last one, she does have beautiful dark hair, dark hair, a little bit of darker brows, but here instead of using straight black, once again, so we don't make it too harsh, we did natural brown with black. And that's what I do a lot on my darker skin clientele. I take the natural brown with the black. And that's how you could achieve that look for this one. Okay. So now you're able to create that little custom mixing. Okay. When you prefer mixing two colors together? It depends on the type of recipe you want to create for your customer. The more you mix colors as well, and don't keep it so basic, it's your recipe that you created for that customer and they can't get it anywhere else. So they're going to be coming to you for that recipe. So it's really nice to accommodate the look and mix colors. That's the only way you'll be able to get right to maybe the exact hair color that they have and so forth. So it should become a habit to try and mix colors as well. You can go straight using your each of your colors on its own, but once you start blending them, you're matching it a little bit better to the hair type. Okay. I have a little bit of information here about client consultation and patch test. I won't stick to it too long, but we know that when you consult with your customer, it's very important because this is where you need to hear what they want, what they were unhappy with, what they want changed about their brows. Without a consultation, how are you going to give your customer what they want? Also, during that consultation, you are filling a consent form. Without a consent form, how are you going to also know what conditions they have, what allergies they have, what medication they're taking that might affect the treatment? We don't know all the medication out there, what it will do, but what it can do or how it can contraindicate. But if somebody's taking medication for their skin, I'm going to know that it might alter the color a little bit. So maybe to be on the safe side, I might ask them to ask their physician if it's okay that I can be tinting, because sometimes medications for the skin can make the skin very sensitive, right? Or if they're taking medication for hair loss, like on their brows and lashes, that medication actually makes the skin thinner, so they can have burning reaction from the tinting. So it's very important that you go over this. And if anything is unsure, you ask them to ask their physician. Would you rather just want that 25 bucks and then have a customer have scarring and never come back again or give you a bad review? So if you let them check in with their physician and teach them, educate them why, they will trust you more. And it's not you just wanting to take their money. You'll create a great loyalty with your customer. Okay. So they're in your care. So do everything best you can to avoid hurting them while they're there, right? You would never think that tints and stuff could hurt somebody, but with allergies and so forth, you can. So do patch tests. Every first customer, do a patch test. Every returning client, after 6 months, do a patch test, because our bodies change. We can go through cancer, we can go through treatments like chemotherapy and radiation. We could have gotten pregnant and that affected our hormones. We could have developed allergies along the way. Never know. So always with your regular customers, bring it out every 6 months and go over it and be like, hey, Susie, anything change? Anything we need to change here? Any new medication? Obviously, with the medication part, I would ask my customer more often. So if I saw them every 6 weeks or maybe every 2 months, I would, when they sit in the chair, hey, anything I need to know about your medication change? Just a quick question like that can help. Okay, Melissa, what about difficult to color? We'll get to that. We'll get to that, Melissa. And 48 hours. Okay. Your patch test should be done 48 hours before the treatment, because some people can react 24 hours later. I do get phone calls of people telling me that their customer reacted 24 hours afterwards. And I asked you to do a patch test, and they said no. It's the best thing that's going to save you and your business. Okay. So let's go quickly now into preparation, just to see the tips. And we're going to show it in the video of how to prepare. Very, very important that you prepare with our micellar eye makeup remover, because it's non-oily. It's got that micellar to help, or the micellar to help with any makeup that they might have still trapped into their brows. But we always suggest to follow it with saline solution afterwards to degrease the area. So you'll see that being shown in an image in the video. Okay. Then you can outline the brow with our protection cream, because you want to avoid unnecessary staining. Also, by outlining the brow with the protection cream, you could avoid irritations as well, as long as you're not allergic to the cream, but you could avoid having any irritation to the skin. Um, Well, obviously, Amberly, you're not going to charge them for a consultation, and tell them this consultation can take up to half an hour, so it will be worth their drive in. And you have to educate them as to why this is needed. And you're going to be going over you're going to be getting them to fill in a consent form. You're going to be going over it with them. You're going to be asking them, reiterating questions like, what is it that you need changed today? What is it that we're going to use? What colors? This and so forth. You're going to be doing the patch test as well. So um, you just need to ask them for, you just need to let them know this is the reason why they have to come in 48 hours before. There's no other way to go around it, unless on the consent form they sign that they waived the patch test and the consultation. If they're waiving it and they sign and they check mark it, then you can kind of use that. But I'm the firm believer of all my customers need to be consulted and patch tests. Okay, because what can happen is during the treatment, if you do a patch test and they're in the bed and you start doing the service, they could react within the service and they could get like burning. They can get marks. They can get inflammation. So you don't want that. to happen, right? Yeah, behind the ear or in the inner forearm or behind in the crease of the elbow, but behind the ear is more of a sensitive. Not the PowerPoint slides, Elizabeth, but you will have similar information emailed to you, and then our website has a wealth of stuff of files you can as well download. Okay. And the protocols too, the step-by-step protocols for bleaching, for mapping, for tinting, they're all on there. So on our website. So you'll have this information, but nicer with protocols. Okay. After we done that, we did all the preparation. You're going to mix. So we do break down the mixing here because it is equal parts. So you can take equal parts of the oxide, equal parts of the tint and mix it. So whatever equal parts to you, whatever pea size, right? But when it comes to the liquid, it's hard to make it equal parts. So that's why we broke it down that if you're going to use 2 centimeters of tint or 3/4 of an inch, if it's cream, you're putting 15 drops. If it's liquid, you're putting 10 drops. Sometimes 2 centimeters is a lot. So I dock it down to 1 centimeter, depending on the brow degree, like how dense it is. I dock it down so I don't have wastage. Each tube of tint, you can make 30 applications, which is great. You can get a revenue of plus $600 out of one tube that might have cost you, say, $14. So, but why not even save more of the tint? If my customer doesn't require 2 centimeters and I dock it down, you can make more services out of one tube. Okay. General tinting time. Now we say 3 to 5 minutes. Anything before 3 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, you can't remove it because you're not going to have the time to lift, to open the hair follicle and get the hair in. So the customer's going to come in 2 days and be like, my tint's gone. So start your timing from 3, right? Like, so from 3 to 5 minutes, if it's a customer that wants it very subtle, very natural, you're going to remove it between that 3 to 5. But remember the rule, check halfway of the timing. If you're not sure, if it's a new customer and you're not sure how the color is going to turn out on them, check halfway through the timing of whatever time you chose. You chose 5 minutes, 2.5. You chose 3 minutes, 1.5. Just check and see, okay, how it's taking. If you're going, and if you want more intensity, more darker, 5 to 10 minutes. I've left it on a darker skin clientele for up to 15 minutes, okay? Then you have also, if you're using reds, into your mixture or the red on its own, that does take longer to process. So be mindful of that, and how much ratio you put of the dark of the natural brown and so forth, because obviously you got to leave it a little bit longer to process the red. So be wise when you're choosing. Maybe it might be that you have to use light brown with the red instead of natural brown, or a mixture of light and a little bit of natural, because you have to leave it on for, say, 10 minutes to process the red, but you don't want the brows to be getting so dark. Okay. And if your hair has been bleached, only 1 minute is the application time. So let's go into, and then removal. Sorry, removal is dry first. If you need to add a little bit of water to clean any staining, you can. But I remove brows now dry. I don't want to compromise them anyway, and I remove them dry. I don't put any water. If you're going to use water, a very little bit soaked on your cotton round. And you end it with the styling gel. You need to protect, you need to hydrate, and you need to seal in that color. The depanthenol and the styling gels help to bind that color. And this is perfect product to sell as a retail, the styling gel, for customers who the tint doesn't last long on them. Okay. So let's go into the custom coloring, so you can actually get a little bit of glimpse of what the bleaching can do. Here we say again of your 8 colors plus your there are 8 colors. There are 8 other colors that are mixable. You can mix them all together. They last up to 6 weeks. Obviously, the shading on the skin is only a day, a shower. It's not meant for skin; it's meant for hair. But we do have the new product that came out, Intense Browns, that is meant to stain the skin much longer. Okay, so let's look at the bleaching paste. So you're able, with the blonde brow, you're able to lighten eyebrows up to 3 shades only. That is it. Anything longer, you will end up damaging. You don't need to be that long on the face. 3 reasons why you would use the blonde brow. First, if you want to lighten untreated eyebrows. So eyebrows that have never been dyed, nothing been done to them, you can lighten them to a shade 1 or 2 or 3, whatever lightness you want. And actually the customer can actually walk out like that with just the bleaching. But if they pull too much red and the brows do come out a little bit brassy, then you'll need to do a little bit of graphite, pull it on and off, just to cool down the brow and not make it too dark, right? Potentially, if the customer has a cool tone, they can walk out right after you've bleached. You can lighten before a tint. So I have black brows. If I want to have light brown brows, I have to bleach my brows and then tint them with light brown. Okay. And then the most important that you will find that will help you a lot is when you have those customers that have the white, bristly, coarse gray hair and the tint does not get even coverage, even if you're using like the oxidant just to break it, it might not like open up that make it porous. It's not going to work. So you'll have to use the blonde brow for that. And then this is where it's called pre-softening. So you're pre-softening those grays for between 3 to 5 minutes, nothing more than that. Okay. You have to use the cream oxidant when you're mixing the bleaching, not the liquid. The consistency will not work. And then you drop about 23 to 25 drops, a lot more drops. And you have to work at it really a lot to get a grainy paste. It's going to be clumpy at first, and you work at it, work at it, work at it until it becomes a grainy paste. So even if you see clump, it's not expired. There's nothing wrong with it. We get people like, oh, I think your bleaching paste is expired. No, it's just that's how bleaching when you mix with oxidant is. Okay. Tips is also you should go against the hair. So when you're applying it, go against the hair, go underneath. You need to cover as best as you can all that hair. If you don't, it's going to reflect after when you tint. You're going to see shades. It could be a highlighted brow. Hey, if that's a trend, you started it. Go ahead if you want to give them a highlighted look. But if they want uniformity, you got to make sure that that whole hair is covered and they look like white caterpillars. Okay. What I was going to mention too is please do put protection cream around the brow because the skin tends to lighten. So if that customer has a darker skin and it lightens it, that contrast or that separation of the degree of the color of their skin, it's not going to look nice, right? So make sure you put protection cream so it doesn't lighten the skin. Do you charge more if you bleach? Yes, you do. Now, depending how much you charge more, I would probably add between $5 to $8 more to your service fee. It is a specialty service, but it's pretty quick to bleach. So yeah, I wouldn't go anything more than $10 to 10 and under to add extra to your, like say your brow tinting is $20, maybe you make it $30 or $28 with the bleaching. Okay. So remember, prepping is the same way that you would prep for tinting. You have to use saline solution or after you've cleaned it with makeup remover. We need to make sure there's nothing in that hair and you need to degrease it. So saline solution is great to have for every single RefectoCil service, okay, as your second step when you're cleansing. Here's your application time. So if you want to lift it one shade, 5 minutes, two shades, 12 minutes, 20 minutes for shade for 3 levels. Level 3. Down here is your color chart. Once again, you'll get a brochure on this and you'll also get a little color mixing file. But here, for example, if I'm a 4N and I leave the bleach on for 20 minutes, I'm going to come out as a 7N. So if my hair was nice and blonde, I could just walk out looking like that. Or I can put a little bit of fresh of graphite to cool it down. Okay. Be careful. It's just for eyebrows, not for lashes. I did have somebody ask to put on the lashes and I was like, you don't want to be putting bleach so close to the eye. Only with oxidant cream, not the liquid. Don't mix with colors. Because of the name Blonde Brow, I've had people buy it and mix it with colors and it's not going to work. So you lighten first and then you tint, and do not leave longer than 20 minutes. Oh, if you're like, oh, I'm going to leave a little bit longer, just lighten more. No, you do not. You'll get it in a thank you email, Tatiana. Do not leave it longer. Okay, you'll compromise the hair. And please, 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 when you're removing the bleach, first remove it dry. We remove dry because we don't want anything dripping into the eye like bleaching. Remove it. You're welcome. Remove it dry. And then take a little bit of your micellar eye makeup remover because it has hair strengthening properties in it. And especially after you bleach, you want that strength. So remove it, clean it with the eye makeup remover, dry the hair. Don't go right away to the tint or else it won't grasp nicely to the hair. And then tint. Okay. These are the charts you're going to get as well. You're going to get this file. It's awesome because it shows you how to mix the colors, what's the ratio, what timing. Okay, and these are the ones that I was showing to you, the cool colors. I haven't done the steel blue, so I would love to try that one because it just looks so nice. But I've done the purple and I've done the pinks and the rose shades. So you see how subtle it looks, but yet it's gorgeous still. Like it's not too vibrant. Obviously, the longer you leave the bleach, so the higher level you leave it, the more vibrant the colors will come out. So that's another tip. Okay. Ah, do you, Trisha? Trisha? Okay, good, perfect. So you have the little key one. Yeah, yeah. On the internet, on the website, it's the file that you can print and have it. It just helps you to be able to know the ratios because, as you can see, for rose style, the blue is like a pin size, but when it comes to purple, the blue is a lot more ratio. So using two different looks is awesome. The previous slide was just if you wanted to give a soft color, you mix the two browns. If you want to make it more softer, the brown. If you want to make it warmer, you can put the red. And if you want to make it cooler, you can put the graphite. So you'll have this file sent to you in a thank you email. And there's three more colors. There's like a bleaching, there's a red. I just couldn't put them all. Okay. Care is very important. Okay. They are awesome combinations, Amberly. It's fun. It's fun when you can start. That's what I'm saying. It's fun when you can get confident to bleach. Okay. Aftercare is very, very, very important. Okay. Your final touch, as I mentioned, is your styling gel. I always suggest if it's a first time client that you bring in, included in the service price. So if it is your brow tinting is $20, this is about a $40 product. The first time they pay is going to be $60 because you really want them to have this product in their hand for that maintenance, but also to keep that color going, especially during the summer seasons when the skin is more oily. The tints might not last as long. So it's great to have something that can hold it a little bit longer. If you have a customer that's a swimmer, that's a gymnast, that they tend to sweat a lot more, great product, okay, for them to use. Otherwise, it's a great product to protect from the sun. It's a great styling product. I use it every day, okay? Then you can end it with a beautiful massage. That's going to be your final touch to set you apart differently. Take the eye protection cream. It works as an eye protection cream. It works as a eye mask. And it also works as a massage cream. So do a little bit of massage on this area. And you will get the charts too of the 3 different movements. Okay, like your tapotement, your more drainage, your circular. Who's going to say no? Especially when you do a little temple massage, your customer's probably going to fall asleep right at the end of the service. But hey, you want to give them a great quality service. Clients love this product. The styling gel, right, Lori? It's our hero product. And I use it even to prep my lashes before I put my mascara on, even to prep my brows before I fill them in. Like, I love it. It's awesome. Okay, last thing before we get to the video, client aftercare. So I will be fixing a section on the website for aftercare and putting up a little a file that you can print out as postcards and give it to your customer. Okay. When massaging, if you get some of the massage creep on the brows, could that compromise it? You want to avoid getting it on the brows. So when you're massaging, stay a good degree away from the brows, because if you start slathering onto it, yes, it can compromise it, because at that moment the hair follicle is trying to close. So you don't want to compromise. So always work around. You're not going over the brows. So you can see the techniques. They're never going over the brows. When you're doing a facial, you do go over the brows, right? Here in the sense you don't. Okay. So here's some aftercare, no water, like no shower, like don't be washing your face with crazy water within that 24 hours. Even your showers, like if you can avoid being prolonged in there with the humidity, you don't want to affect the color. Sunbathing, swimming, no makeup, no oils. Like, so if you're using our Care Balm, wait 48 hours before you use it. Okay. And there's a little tip I said about giving them the styling gel. Okay, here's our information. Please stalk us. So if you're new with us, you're new with RefectoCil, please stalk us on Instagram. We got the RefectoCil. Thanks, Barbara. We got the RefectoCil Instagram, North America, and then also the Browista by RefectoCil, which is my training account. Like us on Facebook, RefectoCil North America. Review us too. We love to hear your feedback about the webinars. What can we do to improve? There's always room for improvement. So if you feel we have to improve on something, let us know. Visit our website. This website is going to be your buddy. It's going to be with you to refresh you, to help you transfer any of your questions, to download any files. I'm working on it tirelessly, but I know the benefit of having a professional feel confident with using the product. So I need to provide that information and those files for you guys. So you'll already see that the website has a couple files you can download. We're adding a section on intense browns as well for education and stuff like that, and for files that you can download. So the new product Intense Browns for staining, it's going to start being put up onto our website as well. Okay. We have videos, tutorials that you can even download and have for yourself as well. If you need any educational assistance, education@cbongroup.com. So for those who want to know any distributors, education@cbongroup.com, and any other question I can help you with, that email. Do you do salon visits? Usually the salon visits are done by or classes and stuff are done by distributors. But if you have something in mind, just email me or sorry, Araceli, I think I butchered the name. Email me at education and maybe let me know what you were looking into. Okay, like in more detail, and then we'll see. Can you use witch hazel for cleaning? If the mixture of witch hazel has in it also oils, I would not. Sometimes some witch hazel they might put properties combine it, so I would not. Check and see if if it doesn't have any oil properties, and you can use it. Okay, but once again, RefectoCil created a system. They created a makeup remover that's going to work with the system, so that's why we suggest use that one, because we don't know what anything else how it might affect it. But as long as it's non-oily, it shouldn't be too detrimental. It shouldn't be detrimental. Okay. For Intense Browns, yes, it will. It's already booked for September 12th. So when you go onto the website, right, you'll see some video on Intense Brown. You'll see a banner. Then you'll see at the bottom the webinar, September 12th. So register. We have almost like 500 people registered. So sign up, register, so you can get in there because it's a great system. Okay. Yeah, so we have two. We have one in September and then we have one in October. But if you want to learn it sooner because it's already out and you want to implement it as a fall service to your customers, join up. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you. Okay. So let's do the video now. So do you have any questions before I go to the video? Because once I share my screen for the video, I won't be able to see the chat box. Okay. So you'll have to hold on to your, you're going to have to hold on to your questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to screen share. I'm going to show you what I want to share. And then you're going to tell me if you can see it in the chat box. Give me 1 second. So can you see the video? I'll make it bigger, this screen, but can you see that I have a video? And it says preparation and it's just paused right now. Okay, you guys can see that? Perfect. Is the screen big enough for you guys? How about now? It's not big enough? Is that big enough? Let me know. I only know one person answered no. So just let me know. List of education. We have a lot for trade. Oh, it's all good? Okay, perfect. We have a lot of services that can be taught, and we do a lot of them in webinars. But email me, and we'll talk about that, about the education. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to hit play. Oh, and I'm going to mute that. Okay, so we're preparing. Oh, I don't know why it's doing the. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So as you can see in the video, preparation. Micellar eye makeup remover, and then your saline, okay? You need to do the saline solution to degrease everything, even to remove the makeup remover as well, so nothing interferes. And this is very important too when bleaching, because you want the right color, the right grasp of the tint, okay? So we're doing that. Then after, you're going to take your protection cream. Make sure also that the brow hairs are dry. Don't work on wet hair. So if you have one of the little fans, so right now we're putting the protection cream. Outline the brow, but do not touch the hair. If you touch the hair, you're going to make it obsolete. Like, I mean, you're gonna make it a barrier. So you're not gonna allow the tint to penetrate. So it's a little bit blurry because I've expanded it. But you can see that we're just outlining around and try not to touch the brow area. What I do is I squeeze a bit of protection cream on my glove, and then I take a Q-tip and I start to spread it. Okay. A fan, I purchased one of these because especially for intense browns, it's needed because there's a lot of drying time. But we've noticed that when brows are dry, the service is richer. If you're working on hair, like even a lash lift, if you work on a lash lift and the hair is wet, you're going to affect the service. It's not going to be as lifted or as curled. Okay. So drying times are important. So I purchased this little fan. You know, even when I'm hot right now, I can fan myself. But they're awesome. They're little Dysons for your lashes. Okay. So we've spread the protection cream and now we're doing the mixing. You can see the blonde brow here because I am bleaching her brows. They were dark, they're black. She's an Asian clientele, they're black. And I showed in the webinar her hair. She had like a soft pinkish, she had a little bit of pinkish reddish in her hair. So we had to strip the hair in order to be able to give it a more warmth, reddish, pinkish look. Okay. So you have your blonde brow, and you have your oxidant cream. Remember, it's cream. Okay, there I'm showing it into the video as well. 3%. Very important to tell you guys is that hairstylists tend to use whatever's left in their bowl. It's been a very ancient like type of thing to do. We didn't have to charge for a service, but it wasn't the safest method because the peroxide in that mixture is way higher. And eventually you can compromise the skin. You can compromise the eye area. So you don't want to do that. Okay. So use RefectoCil and educate your customer why it's a charged service now. It's better for their health and maintenance of their skin and hair. Okay. So as I'm mixing it, mixing. It's a little bit off the screen, but I'm just giving it a good mix. Like I was even mixing it before the camera. Mix. So it's smooth. See how it's now smooth? Okay. And it feels like grainy. It's smooth, but grainy. Like you'll feel a bit of grainy, but that's okay. You're applying it. And remember we said, now you'll see something that I'm doing on the brows here. I'm dabbing it. She's an Asian clientele, so her hairs were shooting straight through up out of the bleaching. So I had to take a ball on the end of my bleach and dab. See there, I'm dabbing, dab, just to weigh down that hair. And try to cover it as best as you can and try to even go backwards against the hair growth as well. I had to cut clips of the video because it's going to be too long for you guys to watch. So in the full length video, I'm going against the hair too. Okay. So that you're covering everything. So so far it's not scary, you know, as long as you got your ratios all mixed nice, you got your protection cream to protect the skin because you know any redness or so there's her hair. See her hair? She has a little bit different tones of pinkishy red. Okay. So that is why we had to bleach it in this sense. For my mom today, when I was going to use her as a model, she has the gray, white, bristly hair, and it will not take color whatsoever. So I have to pre-soften it. Okay. But unfortunately, she couldn't make it. But yes, it's blonde brow. If you haven't used it, try it. Try it. You'll get the recording to this webinar too. You get the protocols, a step-by-step for bleaching. And like I said, practice on some friends that might want a little bit of lightening of their brows or a change of color. Okay. Pre-softening, it's the same thing. Like you're going to prep properly the hair area. You're going to take your bleaching, your mixture, the same mixture, and you're going to leave it on between 3 to 5 minutes only. Pre-soften only needs 3 to 5 minutes. Remember that you can leave the bleaching up to 20 minutes, depending on how much you want to strip away to make the new color crisper. In this sense, you don't need to do that. Right? You're just trying to get those gray hairs to open up and become porous to accept the color. So 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. I would do it every 6 weeks. So how often can you use a blonde brown returning customers? As often as tinting, because tinting usually you should do it between tinting you can do 4 to 6 weeks, but bleaching I would do 6 weeks. Bleaching is a little bit more, I wouldn't say harsher, but there's much more chemical process being done to it because you are stripping away hair color. So I wouldn't be doing it every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. I would wait till 6 weeks. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you can start the timer once you have the one brow on. For her, we left it on full 20 minutes. Her hair is thick, right? Very, very thick. And it also was black. Will there be a RefectoCil promotion kit with this webinar? Are you talking about like a promo to go purchase the kit? We don't, because we don't sell directly to the professionals. It's our distributors that cell, and it would kind of be hard. Maybe it's a future thing, but it's kind of hard to get distributors to accommodate a discount, a promotion after a webinar. But yeah, we don't sell directly. We're the master distributorship, and then we have our distributors in place to sell directly to you. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going back on again and applying more. Why? Because her brows were sticking through, plus her brow hairs were so thick, so they were sucking in that bleaching. So I went back on top. So now you can see it's like more whiter and more of the hair is being covered. I have to make sure that it's all covered. So I'm going to try and go a little bit more fast forward. Okay, so now, oh, this is where I'm showing the little booklet. Unfortunately, they discontinued making these, which sucked because you had this little booklet in your lash and brow bar, but they stopped making them. And so I just put the file on our website for you guys to print out. If you want to give it to a printing company to fix it like this as a key ring, by all means do it. It's nice. You hang it up on your somewhere and your customer can look at it too. It's got swatches on the back to show your customer what their brows could potentially look like. So it's nice. Do I need to bleach a client with gray hair before every tint? No. If the customer has new grays, like it's fine. It will cover. It will take it. There's a lot of the gray when it's soft, it will take it. As long if the hair is the coarse, wiry, and you see it, it's so thick and sticks out of there like the hair. That's the type of clientele. Otherwise, if it's just blended gray, that's their new gray and it's soft, it's gonna cover. Okay, so you don't need to. Now, if you are already bleaching that customer and they need to come back for a bleach, your customer their new hair growth is going to come back again, just like our hair. So yes, you'll have to re-bleach it if their hair went to be being back dark again, right? That's what I'm saying. You should be bleaching it after 6 weeks, right? So it's not just one time you bleach and then the next time they come back you don't have to, unless the hair is still pretty light and it's lasted for them longer, that bleaching, then yes, you could not have to bleach. But the hair after 6 weeks might have had new growth, like growth again, like the grow out, and it might be dark again. So you might have different shades. So you might have to bleach it again. Does that hopefully make sense? Yeah. So it's not just a one-time thing. Can you bleach clients that have microblading? As long as there's hair, you can. So as long as they have hair there, you can do anything. You can do color. You can do the tinting as well. Okay. Uh, I mean the wild gray. Susan, did I answer the question? I just think did I answer your question about the wild gray? Is that gray, bristly, wiry hair, and that's where you have to do the pre-softening. Okay, so I'm just gonna fast forward it and look. You can see. Sorry, as I'm removing it, you can see how her brow lightened. Okay. Okay, so, and then I will prepare the color. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. So removal, dry, 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 dry. And then you can apply the eye makeup remover to give back strength to the hair. And then you're going to dry it and then go to the tinting. So right there, as you saw those two colors, I'm using the red and the blue right there, red and blue, 2.1 and 4.1 to create that softer pinkishy, redishy look for her. Okay. Will one bleach do it for the wild gray client? No, because once that hair gets like the bleaching effect leaves again, the hair can get thicker again. But I don't think you'll have to do it again the second visit. I feel that the gray hair will be okay still, even for their second visit. But that's where you'll have to see that the hair is still accommodating. You'll have to test it out to see. But I think even the second service, you should be okay. You're welcome. Sorry, I misread that. Okay, so now I mixed it. So I got, now I didn't do equal parts because the red is very powerful, very strong color. The red was like in this sense, because I needed to do like the more pinkishy. So I needed more bluish into it. The red was, no, sorry, the opposite. The red was more, the bluish was less. Sorry. The blue gets more when you want to do purple. But you'll have that booklet. Sorry, I got it mixed up. Okay. And now here, I would remap again. So even use our new mapping pencil. I would map the brow so that I'm staying where I was bleached, because you don't want to start staining the skin. So you can put protection cream, but you can also map it with our brow pencil and work it into the area it should. Okay. Can you do bleach and lamination? No. So first you're going to do the lamination first, or you can do the opposite. I think you can do the bleaching first, and then you do in 24 hours, you do the lamination. But during that lamination treatment, you can tint. But your tinting is going to stay on way, 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 way less, because you brow laminated it as well. And brow lamination does tend to lighten the hair too. So be mindful of that color that you're putting on and the timing. Okay, so first will be done your bleaching, then your brow lamination, and then your color in that same seating. But you have to do 24 hours from the bleaching. Does that make sense? So bleaching, 24 hours, then brow lamination and color. So you always have to wait 24 hours in between each one. Okay. Okay, so now we're applying it. I'm going to fast forward it and see how I removed to see how it's taking the color. So it's like a redishy pink. Okay, and I tested it and I saw that I need to put a little bit of more graphite in it because it was too warm, too red. And then when I cooled it down, it became almost like a purpley pink, which matched your hair a little bit better. Okay, so you can correct it on the brow. You just got to be calm when doing it and understanding what color you have to use to correct it. So because I saw it was too warm, too red, because her hair roots were dark, but her bottom of her hair had the balayage type of like reddish, pinkish, purplish, right? So I went back and I added graphite to cool it down. Say 10 years ago, me, I was terrified. I could not correct it. I was freaking out how it looked. But that's why it's very proper that you practice to know if there's an oops moment on your friend, how you're going to correct it in peace of home and not in the salon area where your customer's freaking out. So get over those bumps and hurdles, and then you'll be able to offer properly. Can you repeat what you used to correct, please? Oh, I added graphite because when I pulled it out, I mixed it into the mixture. I mixed it into the mixture and added graphite. Now, if you feel you want to mix it on another one, you can also put it on a separate palette, like our little palette that we have on a separate one, and use it separately so you don't mix it, so that you can correct the other side. The mistake that I did this one was that I did put it in the mixture, but I should have kept it in a separate palette and then corrected each brow the same way. As soon as I went to the other brow, it didn't have the same layout as the first brow. So the color was a little different. I had to correct it after off camera, right? But hey, even the best of us make mistakes too. But I knew how to correct it. I just didn't have time on the webinar. Okay. If client has permanent makeup with sparse gray hairs poking through, if you bleach the brows, the PMU, depending, the bleaching and the brow lamination can affect permanent makeup and microblading, the coloring. But if it's an old service, it's fine. It should be fine. But it's very freshly, it can affect the color. Yeah. So that's something you'll have to check with your customer if they don't mind. Okay. So let's go fast forward it to see the look. Sorry, the camera's a little blurrier, but we made it very cool, purplishly pink. Okay, to match your hair color. It matched it really nice. Okay, so the camera is not doing it justice because I had a different webcam and it was getting blurry. But you can kind of get a hint. It's got that rose look. But you can see where I'm pointing out that this side went a little bit darker because I mixed the graphite in my mixture instead of having it separately. Okay. So you can see it's a little bit, so I had to go back and soften it with the tint remover and add a little bit of red. It's a task. So that's why I give respect to hairstylists with coloring, because a little note about myself, I wanted to be a hairdresser. And then when I saw how hard it was to hair color and color mix and all that, I said, forget it. I'm going to be an esthetician. So, but funny enough, I'm working with coloring and brows, but I understand a little bit better. But yeah, color mixing is important, that you get the right ratios too. Any little slight off of the ratio totally changes the color. Okay. Waxing brows at the end. It's the last thing you're going to do. Last thing you're going to do. If you wax before, you're going to irritate the skin when you bleach and when you tint. So waxing is done at the end, which the nice thing is when it's done at the end, you're able to see the brows better, the shape, because you colored them, and then you're going to wax even better. Okay. So, and then the last thing we're going to do I'm using tint remover just to soften it a little bit because it was darker, but I had to go back and add red. Okay. I almost gave her a, what do you call that character from Marvel? She's got pink hair and blue hair. I forgot who she was, but I gave her that type of brow. Okay, and then you use the aftercare, the styling gel, because also after um, uh, a bleaching, you need to give that care. You strip, even when you Harlequin, yes, that's what I did. Hey, if she ever needs my service for Halloween, I can do it for her. No, but the hair has been stripped from the bleaching, so you want to be able to give it back that treatments, that minerals, those you want to give it back. So please use this. Please use the styling gel at the end of all of your RefectoCil services, and please encourage your customers to use it at home as well. Okay, so there we go. That's I just paused it, but I'm just finishing. I just finished applying it, and that's it. So what did you guys feel about that webinar? Sorry I couldn't do a live one, but I hope that webinar kind of gave you an idea. Like, apart from the blurriness of the camera, her brows looked awesome. Like that color matched her hair so nicely, and that's where you become an artist with the colors. Thank you, Kashia. Thank you. So practice will make you get comfortable with the product. If you don't practice, you're not going to get comfortable with the service as well. Okay, so there was a question, what is the shelf life of open products? So all our tints and the bleaching paste on the back, all our products in the back have a little image of an open jar, and they're 12 months 12 months after opening. And I think it was the oxidant that might be 6 months, so they all have that image on the back. Okay, so they'll tell you after opening. Very helpful. Thank you, Amberly. And let's see. Catherine, the steps on how to fix wrong color, it varies on what color you used. So if you made it too cool and you got to make it red, warmer, then more red. If you made it too red and you got to cool it down, then more graphite. So it depends what mistake you made, what colors you were using. It varies for each one, but it can be fixed at that moment because the follicles are open, so you're able to correct it. In this video, I had to add graphite because I made it too red instead of more purplish pink. Okay. And the graphite pulls warmth, right? Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully, I want to see befores and afters of bleaching. I want to see you guys tag us and let us know your comfortability, like always. I love interacting with all the professionals through Instagram. We showcase your work as well on our accounts, so let us know. Okay, thank you, Araceli. Thank you, Lori. Awesome, everybody. That was excellent. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry. It was solid, very informative. Oh, thank you, Tawny. Perfect. I really like to share all of this with my students. Hey, Sherry, that's perfect. Maybe it could be something you could add into your curriculum of bleaching brows as well. So basically, Kashia, what I did, which I made a mistake, I added the graphite into my mixture already, which sometimes you can do that. But in this sense, I should have kept the graphite on its own and corrected it, and then used the mixture again on the other side of the brow, and then corrected it with the graphite. But I had mixed it with the mixture, and when I did the other brow, it didn't get as dark as the one that I did the graphite. I don't know if it makes sense. So you can play around with it. I usually correct it when I mix into the mixture because I want to warm it. But in this webinar, I did one brow at a time. If you did both of them at the same time, yes, mix it in your mixture. Does that make sense? But here in the video, I was showing one brow at a time. I was finishing one brow. So I wasn't getting the same balance. So I wonder if that makes sense. How soon can you tint after tinting again? 4 to 6 weeks, we say, but keep it at 6 weeks. But 4 to 6 weeks for tinting is okay, but bleaching, no, 6 weeks. Okay. Thank you, Janet. If an expired product is used mistakenly, what will happen? You might not get accuracy. You might not get the results, right? Because it's oxidized and it's not effective. So you're just going to not have a tinting result, or your customer will come back with the tint coming off in 2 days. When do you use saline solution? Prep. When you're prepping your micellar eye makeup remover, step number 1, then you go over and you cleanse with the saline solution to degrease everything to make sure there's nothing there. And then you can also use the eye makeup remover when you're done with the bleach and you're removing the bleach dry first. Then put a little bit of eye makeup remover on your cotton pad and clean the brows because it has amino acids inside the eye makeup remover, and it's going to structure the hair, like give back minerals back into the structure of the hair because you stripped it. So the eye makeup remover is a beautiful product. It's even a retail product because people love it. Okay, where can I get these products from? Masoda, please email at education@cbongroup.com. I'll put it in the chat box, but education@cbongroup.com, and you can let me know where you're located and I can help you. Okay, thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm going through all the, thank you, Angelica. How do we tag you through social media? So it's RefectoCil North America. And then mine is, here, I'll show you quickly because mine's a little bit complicated. There we go. RefectoCil North America. Maybe this might help. Oh no, I zoomed it too much. Okay, RefectoCil North America and Browista _ by RefectoCil. There's like 2 underscores. Browista, yeah. I just lost the chat box, guys. Bear with me. Oh, there we go. Okay, so those are the 2 tags you can tag us in. I love sharing everybody's work. How I keep in touch with the community. Okay, thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Kesha. Thank you, Pinky. Thank you, Wendy, Catherine. Thanks, everybody. Do the intense brown stand alone? Can they? Nope, you can't mix them. Stand alone. Stand alone. No mixing. Yeah. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Joanna. Donna, thank you for all the important. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everyone. When you email us after the class, will you include the link to join the class? And I didn't put it in the thank you email, but I believe I put the website. If not, just go on this website, education@cbn. Maybe even right now, when I end the webinar, go to education@cbngroup.com and register for the Intense Browns. It's a great product, Intense Browns, but training is needed, like how to utilize it. You need a lot of practice because you are redesigning a brow. You are, if somebody has no brow, it's a good way to see if a customer also wants to get microblading or PMU by using Intense Browns. Okay, so you'll love it. You'll love it. Okay, guys, so we're a little bit over. We're 10 minutes overboard. I thought I kept the webinar an hour. I thought I was like, yeah, Christy, you finally did it. I tend to talk a lot. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mimi, Sabita. Hi, Sabita. Thank you guys so much for joining. Keep in touch with me. I do answer both Instagram accounts. Even if you want to say hi, I would love to hear from you guys. Okay. So on that note, someone is writing. I don't want to end it when you're writing, but I want to say on that note, thank you so much for spending your afternoon or morning with me if you are in BC or other parts of the states that are a little bit earlier, or California. So thank you for spending your time with me, and maybe I'll see you guys. Yep, I'll see you guys in September, on September 12th for the exciting launch of Intense Browns. Okay. Oh, good night, Janine. Oh no, good night. I'm trying to find the next webinar. RefectoCil education. Education. Sorry, the website's right here. RefectoCilEducation.com. Sorry, you got to go to the website. Okay, RefectoCilEducation.com, and you can register for the September 12th on the main page or on my Instagram account. In my link, in my bio, in my bio on the link, you can register for the webinar through there as well. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much. If you have any questions, education@cbn Group, I can answer them. If I miss any questions too, please email me and I will help you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.